Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Good morning.
Sam Healy, welcome back and good morning.
It's Thursday and today is March 28th, 2019.
What?
I know it.
It's the
I know
future.
it. So, a couple cool things. I'm going to keep mentioning the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund auction is going on. You can find that at Board Game Geek. It's on the front page in the news section. They keep adding new stuff there. I just saw someone will take a board game cover and make one of those shadow boxes out of it. So I bet on that. I don't think it will last, but looks neat. I can get
cool.
all smash up stuff. There's a lot of cool things on it. Also, Dice Tower Retreat, dicetowerretreat.com. So talking about this briefly, if you want to come, what we do is we have a hotel. You're going to come. We're going to bring the Dice Tower Library, which is 680 games, and at that point will be probably 800 games at that point, likely.
Yeah.
We are blinging out all the games. We are doing all kinds of cool things to these games. And you just come and play games straight. That's what it is. Just game. With fantastic people, also us.
We'll
Is that
be
the way
there.
to say it?
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll bring down the collective demeanor of the...
Yeah, you want to play Blood Rage with Sam? I would
You
say
probably will get to.
there's a good chance of it, but at the same time, there's a good chance at any convention. So, alrighty. So that's the stuff that's coming up in the future. Let's get to the news. All right, Dice Tower News is March 28th, 2009. So let's take a look here. And as always, you can find out our news, dicetowernews.com, and we have a digest of the news will come out later today. So Root won the Tabletop Game of the Year award at the South by Southwest convention, which is in Austin, Texas. This convention is this humongous thing nowadays. I don't even know. I don't really understand the convention overall. I know it's like it started as a music festival, I think. But
Wow.
they,
Is it
yeah,
an open gaming
like,
convention? Is it
it's not a
just an
game
awards
convention. It's like an everything convention. It's like a culture. It's huge. I know that, but I know there's a lot of bands go there and play.
Okay.
But they do a bunch of awards for gaming. They're mostly video games. They do Game of the Year, and I know so Root won.
Okay.
Also, there was a like People's Choice Award type thing, and that went to Tsukiyumi. Which is, I know.
Say what?
Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down awarded the best indie tabletop game as voted by South by Southwest gaming attendees.
Indie tabletop game. Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Now for news, a new Christmas board game is coming out. Die Hard, the Nakatomi Heist
That is
board
not
game.
a Christmas game.
I really wish they had put that in green on the cover. It would have
I've
been
already-
fantastic.
Oh, I know.
I've already been asked like by 2 people, I think. Hey, are you gonna play the Die Hard board game on Christmas?
Well, first of all, we don't
You're
normally
not.
play games on Christmas, so there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
However, okay,
I
forgetting
like the cover, I'll tell you that. It's a really cool cover.
that's good because the whole game looks like that.
Yeah, it's
Like
neat.
I think
like
they got the rights to
style.
the movie. I don't think they got the rights to the actors because
Which is
Bruce
fine.
Willis isn't in the game. It's
I like that better, honestly. I would hate it if they had to resort to screen caps or something.
this is actually the first. This is the first movie. I mean, the first board game that's used this IP ever. This is a 20-year. It came out in 1988, so that's actually
21 years.
no, that's 30.
31 years.
That's 31 years old. That movie now. That's a sign of a good movie though. That it's held up that long.
Yeah.
I always find it weird when I turn on Turner Classic and there's like a movie. I'm like, that's not an old movie.
Oh, I know.
Anyhow, this is a one versus all game. One person's John McClane, and the other people are the bad guys.
Oh, I want to be the bad guy.
I'm definitely wanting to try this one out. Another game, Bus. This game is a game I often tout out when we talk about bad artwork in games because Spotter. I mean, if you look closely at the cover, this cover doesn't look bad far away, but if you look closely, it looks like a 5-year-old drew
Sure.
a bus with people in it.
Yep.
However, this game is very popular. It's one of Splatter's first games. They're doing a 20th anniversary, but Capstone's the one redoing it.
Yep.
Capstone's games are extremely high quality. I don't think this is as complicated as many of Splatter's games. Eric Summer loves it. Anyway, it's coming out later this year.
And from the looks of it, they are keeping the gameplay, but they are going to do an overhaul of the look of the game. So, yeah, Capstone's got a good track record for quality production, and this is kind of in their wheelhouse, this style of game anyway. So,
All right, now we're going to jump over to WizKids and one of the best named games in history, Star Trek Conflict in the Neutral Zone. We've already talked about this a bit, but it's now coming.
Game, right.
It's a flicking game, but man,
Conflict.
that name actually just enrages me slightly every time I see it. It's like your dad tried to make a pun, but it wasn't even good enough for a dad joke.
And then it made it all the way to publication.
Anyway, in this game, 2 to 4 players, you control Federation or Klingon vessels represented by discs, and you flick them to collect resources and attack other ships. I think the game itself sounds interesting. I'll play it. I like flicking games. I just hate the name. All right.
Yeah, not for me.
Well, you don't like flicking that much anyway.
Not really, no.
How about this one here? Looks like Waterworld, the game, Flotilla.
This sounded cool, yeah.
That's actually a really cool looking cover.
Yeah.
It looks like a less antagonistic Waterworld. Like, this is what World would be if people weren't trying to kill each other the whole
they were
time.
trying to work together, yeah.
Which is ridiculous. I mean,
It's a 2 to 5 player game. One of the designers designed Reavers of Midgard. So it takes place in a post-nuclear 1950s Earth.
that's pretty cool.
Z likes that. That's kind of
I
your
like
thing.
my alternate history sci-fi, yeah.
So after they did the Bikini Atoll nuclear test, the sea levels rose, and people have to deal with that. And you are collecting resources, and eventually you're going to try to control guilds. You need to be the most influential fleet commander. This is coming out October
At
of
any
this year.
point do you develop gills and can breathe underwater?
Guilds is what I said, not gills, but yes. Next.
Reavers is a pretty heavy game. Reavers of Midgard.
Yeah,
So I
well,
wonder
no, I
if
mean,
that was gonna
that
be-
looks like a bigger game.
Yeah.
I'm okay. WizKids' bigger games, I'm more interested in their little games usually.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider Legends, the board game. Now, that's not a bad cover.
No.
I like her standing before that door. That's cool. You know, how's she going to
Yeah.
get through it?
This I haven't heard about at all.
Neither have I.
Well, here's the thing. Don't get too excited about it. It's a 3 to 4 player game, blah, blah, blah. It's from Square Enix. And Square Enix makes amazing video games, but their board game legacy so far, they made those Final Fantasy stuff. Yeah.
Oh, they made that Chocobo card game, and
No, they didn't make that one. I think they licensed that one, but they made that Final. Who knows? It might be amazing.
It looks good. I hope it's a solid game. It looks really neat.
It's 1 versus all, though, I believe. No, I'm sorry. No, it's 3 versus. Never mind. You're just trying to
3
mess over. It
versus
looks like a
7.
take that game too. There's also 4 Lara Crofts in it. That always I find annoying. Like,
4 Lara Croft.
Like everybody plays
different
her?
stages.
yeah, you know, everyone's playing her, but trying to mess over your opponents.
Oh.
Why? Why Square Enix?
Cowboy Bebop Board Game Boogie. I like the name.
Cowboy Bebop.
Do you guys like Cowboy Bebop?
I do a lot, yeah.
Really?
Board
Yeah.
game boogie.
I didn't know you watched any anime at all.
I like Cowboy Bebop. It's probably my favorite.
It's very artsy in a sense. I like the music. The music for Cowboy
Music's
Bebop
great,
is
yeah,
pretty
but
good.
I like the style, sort of the concept, this like, bounty hunter in the future kind of thing. It's cool.
Here's the problem with this one. It's the same thing as I said about the last one. It's from Jasco. And right now, Jasco Games has not really thrilled me. Although, if you remember last week, we talked about the Buffy.
Yeah.
Eric has clarified me he does like that game a lot. So, go
I
figure.
thought he did.
All right. Cool.
Anyway, each person is, you play one of the 4 misfit bounty hunters aboard the spaceship Bebop. And you have a set of tasks that you have to do in order, and you got to get money. It's a cooperative game. So maybe it's good.
Sure, it makes sense.
Why is it called Cowboy Bebop?
Because they're
kinda
mercenaries. They just do what they want to do.
Yeah, they're sort of like outlaw mercenary type people. They're not outlaws. The guy used to be a cop, I think, but
Cowboys aren't outlaw mercenaries.
No, but think of it from the Japan's point of view. Of, like, the cowboy's kind of that American who does what he wants. It's kind of that style. Like, he's a cowboy. Think of it that way, like the
he's a
adjective.
wild card is the idea. I think.
Like, you're acting like a cowboy.
Oh. Okay, I get it.
That's funny though. That is now what, the 4th or 5th licensed game that we've looked at, IPs.
Yeah, so let's go to one that has no license at all.
That's blowing up.
Pastali.
It also has no theme.
Yeah, so this is coming from Pandasaurus Games.
Okay.
And it's from Masaki Suga. It's basically looks like a hexagonal suro.
Okay.
You're basically laying things down there, and you're trying to make paths on the board. If you saw a picture of the game, it looks just like that cover.
Pass tally.
I think you'll like it because
You like not.
no, I think the color. No, I don't know. I
Not
mean,
fun things. That looks like it might be good.
it is 2 to 3 players, which is unusual.
That is weird. Okay.
All right.
I don't know. I'd have to see a picture of the actual board. The cover enough isn't
He
doing
just said you're looking at it.
it. Nah, I don't know.
Stronghold Games continues their We Know How to Make Good Covers with a pair of games. I swear. Second chance from Uwe Rosenberg. Uwe Rosenberg was like, hey, I want to make another tile laying game, but also roll and writes are popular. There you go.
Didn't we already do this game, or maybe this is a reprint of his?
Second chance, so you got to do it twice.
Didn't he already come out with the? Or maybe that's not his design. The one that
That Tetris one I was showing you about?
papering duel or something. Isn't that his? Yeah, there's one that's like a roll and write from him that uses all the other mechanisms.
He steals a lot from himself, so it's confusing.
It's not stealing, I guess. He steals from people who buy his game. That's
Gardens. No, okay. In this game, you're making a garden and filling it in with different tiles there.
I like that cover.
It's
You don't
okay.
like that cover? I like that cover, yeah.
It's better than the subtext cover.
Subtext is interesting. It's a little hard to see the text.
Well, that one's
Because
gonna. I
it's
mean, both
subtext.
these games are.
below the text.
These are two of the hottest designers in gaming right now.
Who's the
Rosenberg
second one?
and Wolfgang Warsch is the other one. It's a party game from him where you're communicating by drawing hints about words on cards.
Right.
So read the subtext.
I think it's funny. Rosenberg clearly is obsessed with eating, and Wolfgang Warsch is clearly obsessed with not really clearly communicating with people. Like each one has.
No one ever talked to him as a
No
child.
one ever like really sat him down and was like, "Listen, let me tell you exactly what's going on." It was all nebulous hints.
All right, and stuff coming to Kickstarter. This I'm actually pretty excited about.
Oh yeah.
Valley of the Kings Premium Edition, I believe, is coming to Kickstarter next week. But Valley of the Kings was 3 separate games that were all the exact same game.
Yes.
It's a little deck building game, and he just changed the cards in each one. They called it a trilogy, but literally, I have to go look up when I'm looking at one as to which number it is because I can't. I think if you put one on the table, I wouldn't know which one it
They
is.
were standalone expansions for sure. You could just
But
mix them up.
they were like that similar.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, they're putting all 3 in one box.
And they're adding some other stuff, I believe, as well. You now have some new cards that give you
And new
effects.
graphics, new
Yeah.
Pharaoh cards with unique abilities,
There, that.
and sleeves for all the cards. Valley of the Kings is one of the most underrated deck builders out there.
Huh. I wonder. It feels like more publishers are starting to put card sleeves.
It's definitely
in their
happening.
games.
I just got another game that had card sleeves with it. Oh, that one
Really?
that you just reviewed.
Well, they needed it, I think.
What's
though.
that? There's that little game that I told you that was remade
By Z-Man?
by Z-Man.
No, but you need card sleeves for that.
Right. Well, I'm just saying it came with card. No, the clear card sleeves.
Yeah, you need them.
Because
In that game, you take two cards, put them back to back, and sleeve them.
Got it. Okay, I
It
see.
has to be in there. But
But I am noticing more
yeah,
games coming
card
with
sleeves
sleeves.
are now included in many things that don't really necessarily need them. Yeah.
right.
Depending on how expensive this is, this is like almost an auto back for me because I've been struggling with how to put these games together anyway because the boxes didn't let you.
No, there were tiny boxes. Yeah, this is going to be a nice premium edition of something that we know we like. So that's good.
Also, Point Salad is from AEG. Yeah, they're calling it Point Salad, whatever. It's a drafting game, 100 ways to score points in this game. Every game's unique. There's 6 different vegetables. Each one has a different scoring method. So you're just trying to draft the cards and then the ways to score them. It actually sounds fun.
Point salad, the point salad game.
Yeah, all right.
Is that a trademark symbol on the cover?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they trademarked the name Point Salad.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not normally on the cover of games, but I think you had to put it here. So now if I say something is a Point Salad game, AEG can be like,
Pay me.
back off.
Are you serious? They did that?
I don't know that it's wrong. Who cares? I'm not going to call game points out anyway. Let's talk about a game all three of us like. Crown of Amara.
Ooh.
Is...
Did you like that?
I don't remember playing it.
Yeah, I like it. You like it.
I haven't played it.
Oh, you haven't played this one. I thought
Yeah.
we played it live. Then again, I don't remember
Nope.
a lot of things.
I don't think so.
We played this at the retreat last year.
We did. I've played it quite a few times. I really like it. Yes, it's a great game.
Good news. It's really hard to get a hold of.
It is, unfortunately. When should I
Coming
get
to
it, Tom?
America.
Tell me when.
Gen Con.
That's really far out. What am I supposed to do? Play one of my other 600 games? Oh, I'm sickened.
How
by
is Gen
this
Con
news.
far out? April, May, June, July, August. Oh, God, it's far out.
That's
okay.
too many months. I don't have enough games to carry me through the drought.
All right, last piece of news is a teaser. We know nothing about this other than this picture that showed up on DVGOG.
That's
Coming
right.
soon, bang. And that guy who obviously needs to put his hat down a little so he can stop squinting into the sun. The whole
This is some
reason
sort
you
of-
have a hat.
This is some sort of reworking or sequel or something, but we don't really know a whole lot yet, right?
Huh. That's interesting.
Now, this is, I think, the original card game, not the dice game, but again, we don't know.
Huh.
It's a game in the Bang universe called Coming Soon.
Alrighty, well, that's
Huh.
all the news. Let's get to the rest of the news.
Hello, fellow
The main
gamers.
six.
So, March is almost over, and you all know what that means. Tomfoolery and heartbreak is just around the corner, as all of your favorite game companies are willing to go against you and lie to you for an entire day's worth of disappointment. But you know what's not disappointing? These Kickstarters. Featured this week, we have Crave by Black Forest Studio, which features a tale as old as time, as one or more lucky vampires get a chance to take down some human hunters in this card drafting game that takes about 25 minutes to play and has some of the most fantastic looking vampire art I have seen. A pledge for this game costs $20 and possible blood loss. Next up is Fujikoro by Game Brewer. This little hottie is for 1 to 6 samurai that are searching for some really poorly placed sacred temples in this adventure game that has some Euro elements to it for about 60 to 120 minutes, as players will be searching a modular board to gather resources, craft items, and fight dragons, all while trying to escape a volcano. This action-packed game has a starting price of $111. Speaking of dragons and caves, our next game reminds us exactly why we shouldn't be picking up some random things in a dungeon with Life Siphon by Laywaste Games, as 2 to 4 magically cursed souls summon familiars and use powers that slowly drain their life away, all while trying to defend themselves from other crazed players for about 20 to 40 minutes, in this hand management game that runs for about 45 minutes. Lastly, we have Exodus Chronicles by NSKN Games, which is for 1 to 6 space travelers looking to explore, expand, exploit, exterminate, extrapolate, examine, and any other EX words you want to throw in there, as players will be trying to dominate the galaxy through area control, bidding, and alliances for about 30 minutes per player. This little space battle starts at $99. Now for my newest segment, where are all my tax money's going this year? To Wyrmwood tabletop tiles by Wyrmwood Gaming, of course. These sleek modular tiles will make you the belle of any tabletop night, as they don't only hold bits, but also work as coasters or as lovely handcrafted frisbees. A pledge for these beauties are brought to you by Math. Thanks so much for joining me this week, guys. If you enjoyed any of the Kickstarters that you saw here today, or I guess really even if you didn't, you should check out gloryhound.com and go to my live show, and we can talk about all those Kickstarters in depth, what you guys think about them, what we think about them. We can share thoughts, we can share feelings, we can go into how much we hate April Fool's Day, and I think that's about it. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I will see you guys all next week.
Today I'm showing you Freedom, the battle for Messalongi. Now you're probably saying, what's Messalongi? I'll get to that. This is a game for 2. It's a card-driven game. It's a war game, but very Euro-ish. Designed by Vangelis Bagiartakis Efaristore and published by Phalanx Games. We're just gonna pause for a second because I'm gonna show you what Messalongi looks like. Not too shabby. You know, some of you are probably saying, where the heck does he get these games, Messalongi? Hey, I got another game where it's the battle for some Hawaiian islands, and there's a chief there, and his name is Chief Kamehameha. So Freedom, at its basic, is a state of siege game. That means the Greeks are in Messalongi, they're number 5,000, and the Ottomans and the Egyptians who are attacking them, number 35,000. The board is separated in two sections. The lower section is the tactical section, where it's boots on the ground, the nitty-gritty, and the top section is the strategic section, the big picture. Also, there's tracks for morale, there's tracks for politics, and there's tracks for feeding your army. Now, remember when I said the Greeks were 5,000 and the Egyptians and the Ottomans were 35,000? Well, it takes a hell of a lot more to feed 35,000 people than 5,000. So the game kind of balances out there. The game lasts 6 rounds, and the goal of the game is to either bring one of the belligerents' morales to 0, or if one of the red cubes occupies one of these forts. If they occupy one of these forts, game is over for the Greeks. As I said, there's a Euro element to this game, which is resource management. So, if you check the top half, you're going to see that certain cards will allow you to keep a sector that you're occupying, giving you bread, or giving you an army, or upping up your morale. Upping up your morale. Isn't that cute that I don't know how to speak English? There's a cool mechanic in this game. The discarded card that doesn't serve you serves your opponent. The opponent has the option of discarding a card and playing that event, because it doesn't serve you, to shaft you. So the cards either serve the Greeks or the Ottomans or are neutral. Personally, this is a fun game. It's got some Euro elements, you decimate your opponent. It's all good. Freedom Phalanx Games, designed by Vangelis Bagiatarkis, should be on Kickstarter now. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about war games, please check out my channel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another segment of Gamer Stereotypes.
Sam, you're looking good.
Thanks. Been working on my...
Never mind. Okay, so
Anyway.
this says Sam is the backseat driver, apparently, according to this
backseat
picture.
driver. I'm actually...
Right.
I usually am not the backseat
You
driver.
are not.
Now let me explain what I mean by backseat driver. Backseat driver is when one person is explaining how to play the game, and they have been, I guess you could say, designated the teacher of the game, and they're doing a fine job. And then somebody asks a question and interrupts the person who is actually teaching the game. The backseat driver will then step in and explain that rule, that question, whatever they've done, and then they'll try to continue teaching the game as you're trying to teach the game.
Woo! Matrix E!
I recently had an experience of this. Now, I don't really mind, because I don't if somebody else wants to teach a game that I'm part of, absolutely fine and dandy.
Yeah, you don't want to be the teacher normally.
I really don't care. I will if I can and if I feel confident doing so, but I don't care if somebody else teaches the game. So if a backseat driver steps in and does it and is doing a good job, hey, fine and dandy. And sometimes if you're a teacher, you're more prone to this because you're used to teaching. And so when somebody else is teaching, you feel awkward. And so I don't know. I think that people who have worked in that profession of teaching are more prone to be a backseat driver because they don't want somebody else teaching. They feel uncomfortable allowing somebody else to do the teaching because they're so comfortable in that position.
Don't you think maybe it's just because they kind of can see the mistakes when something should or should not be mentioned yet? You know what I mean?
I don't. Well, often when I've experienced a backseat driver, they're actually jumping ahead.
I know, that's true.
They're jumping ahead and they're actually skipping a whole lot of stuff in between because they're answering the question that the person has asked, but there's other things that have to be explained before you can really understand the answer to the question.
Yeah, so I think it's more, I don't think it's like good teachers who have a good cadence for teaching are actually backseat drivers.
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
I think it's people who are like desperate to like get somebody else up to speed a little bit, and so you're trying to lay it out. So you do that, like I gloss over the steps, and then the backseat driver jumps in there and it's like, You know, I'm like, so at the beginning you're going to draw 4 cards, and the backseat driver's like, but you can draw fewer if you want to take extra actions. It's like, well, I'll get to that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Let me first explain this.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't think it's good teachers who are backseat drivers.
No. I didn't say it was good teachers. I said if you are a teacher, you're more prone to do
Think
this.
so? I don't know.
Because you're I don't want to automatically assume that there is, I guess you could say, a negative reason for somebody wanting to be a backseat driver.
No, this is always a person with good intentions.
Oh, of course. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody's doing it to
yes.
mess you up. Yeah.
Right.
But you need to be quiet.
Well, here's the thing. I detest backseat drivers, and yet
You is one.
I might do it. The ones I detest the most are the ones who insert, like what Z said, details that haven't come out yet, or even worse, I think, strategy. Like, I don't need you to sell the strategy right now.
Right.
I'll be like, okay, you're going to draw cards. Like, oh, well, watch out for the Oompka card, which is when this happens in this one circumstance, and then you want to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm like, hang on, you know.
Yeah.
You're the water's got up to here for these people. I'm trying to bring them in slowly.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
However, I try to teach every game I play if I can. I love teaching games.
Oh, and we know this by now. So if we all sit down at the table and I'm holding a rule book,
Yes.
and it's not something I'm sure about, and Tom sits down, that gets passed right
Okay.
over. He's a faster reader.
At some
and-
point in the game, if somebody else is teaching it, Tom's going to ask for the rules.
Yeah, no, I mean, at that point, if it's all the same, all right, unless I already know the game, right? If I don't, he's a faster reader. He's better at going from rule book to table. You know, so no, and he's gonna ask
Okay, but
questions
that-
anyway. He's just gonna get on my nerves, and I'm gonna have to eat his hat. So I was just like, "Here's a rule book."
All right. Well, yeah. No, but the thing is if I know the game, there's been a couple times this happens. I know the game really well, and so does someone else. We sit down, and there's another person, and before I can start teaching it, because I don't want to ask. I just like, all right, I'll teach the game.
Yeah.
Someone else starts teaching it. I have to like sit on my hands
Oh, that's the worst.
and zip my mouth because I know I want to interrupt because I'm thinking in my head egotistically, that's not a good way to teach a game. Why aren't you mentioning this? You should do that.
This has happened a lot to me while I was playing Blood Rage because somebody will say, hey, will you teach me how to play Blood Rage? And I'll say, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then somebody else who's played the game or is very good at it will sit down and want to play with us. And so as I'm teaching them the game, now sometimes it's worked out where I have forgotten something or I just haven't gotten to something that fits into the explanation right now, and they'll pipe up and they'll say something and then they'll be quiet. Mm-hmm. That's not really backseat driving.
It's when the person
It's when they
interrupts,
take over.
and then they keep going.
Yes.
And then I'm like, should I take it back? I was in the room.
I know. You know
me
what
the
it is
wheel.
for me? The one, and this is probably the worst version of a backseat driver I've encountered is that idea of I'm holding a game I intend to play. I'm walking around. I see a few people sit down, and I put the game down for a moment. I'm adjusting my seat or whatever, and someone else on the table grabs the game, pops a lid, takes the rule book, starts setting everything up, and starts to teach from the rule book. And I'm like, I already know how to play the game.
I've never had that happen to me.
Yep. Yeah, there's a few
Really?
personalities who
Wow.
I'm guessing they're alpha gamer.
That's more like a mugger.
I feel mugged. I totally do. When this happens, I feel
That's
like
not a backseat driver. They pull you, stick you in the
it's
backseat.
like a car theft. They put you in the trunk and drive away in your car.
All right, some people here in the comments have mentioned it's okay to correct a rules mistake.
Yeah.
That's the only time I pop in, usually.
Yeah.
If somebody goes, because it's happened a lot, where someone's teaching something, I know it's wrong, I'll be like, actually, it's this many things when you take that action. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, if I wait till the very, very end to correct that, it's cemented a little more than if I nip it right now.
What about the backseat driver? That's the person who's not in the game, and they walk over. And, oh, I know this game.
If somebody
wow.
wants me to teach them, yeah, I mean...
No. You're playing a game with people. You're in the middle of teaching, and someone who's not playing a game comes standing by, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, blah 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 blah."
That
That's
happened to
and
us.
then walks away.
That's like a guy you drive down the street. A guy's like, "Hey, you need to straighten up."
That happens a fair amount of conventions, I would say.
That happened at Gen Con when we were playing that Victorian Oh, I can't remember. No, not Victorian Masterminds. It was like 2 years ago. That
Well,
one,
anyway, it's a game.
Yeah, where somebody came up and was giving us advice on what we should do, because it was a cooperative game where we had to go around. Man, I can't remember the name of the game now.
Well, one of the things that cracks me up on this is what happened when you're at a conventions. I'm teaching a game that I know, okay.
Yeah.
And someone come up and be like, "Oh, I love this game." I'm like, "Oh, I feel like they're about to take over the teaching controls."
Goes.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's definitely an impulse that I know you're trying to be friendly.
You're trying
A
to
lot
help.
of the time you are just trying to help, and I completely
yep.
understand that. You need to check if that help is wanted or needed.
Yeah.
Don't go for the full on, I'm just going to be friendly and I'm going to be helpful. You might also just be impeding something that's already in play. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
but I don't want people to stop being friendly or helpful too.
No, of course, but you should definitely ask. I've done that plenty of times at conventions.
Okay, guys, I'm
of
going to
course,
teach
at
this game.
at the convention, it might be like our own retreat or whatever, but I will be like, oh, great game, guys. They're playing Crown of Imara. We just talked about that. You guys got it? You want me to help you? You want me to teach or does somebody already know it?
Yeah.
And I've done that plenty, but you got to ask. You cannot just be like, ooh, Crown of Imara? Okay, so here's what you do. You know, don't just jump in there.
Yeah. Very true.
Alrighty, that's
The backseat driver.
There you go.
Good.
Let's keep moving.
Are you ready to play the game that pits you against the most terrifying monster of all time? Here I have King Kong, published in 1976 by Ideal. This is a 2 to 4 player game in which you're trying to stop King Kong before he reaches the top of the building. Let me set this up and show you how it works. This is what the game board will look like set up. King Kong will start here at the bottom of the building along with all the other players. Every player is going to get dealt a hand of 3 cards. Now at the beginning of every round, meaning after everybody has moved, King Kong will move by using this spinner. You'll spin it twice. First you'll consult the outside and then you'll consult the inside. And that dictates how many spaces he moves up and which way King Kong rotates. On your turn, you're going to roll a 6-sided dice and move that many spaces. On the little spaces, you'll move up, down, left, or right. If you ride the elevator, those count as 1 space apiece. And if you still have movement left over, you can go ahead and move out into the building. The object of the game is to attack King Kong 5 times. And you do that by playing a card. The card dictates where you need to attack him. For example, this says attack the left or the right hand. You move your playing piece to the left or right, you have successfully attacked him. At the beginning of every turn, if King Kong ever pushes you out of your square, you have fallen off the building, you need to discard your attack card and start at the start space. If King Kong comes all the way to the top of the building, all players lose the game. If you have 5 cards in front of you, you automatically win the game. This is a game that's considered a friend killer. When you're close to King Kong, getting ready to attack him, and a player plays a card and swings and knocks you off the building, that player will hate you for a long time. Well, that's all the time I have for now. If you have a comment below, or you can tweet them to me at RetroBoardGamer. And as always, may your rolls be high.
I will never ever play Scrabble again. Hi everybody, I'm Jonna, and I am dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. I'm dyslexic.
Gaming as a dyslexic person.
I've actually talked about it a lot lately, and it's super weird because I've spent most of my life trying to hide the fact that I'm dyslexic.
I can't spell Wednesday. Please don't think I'm stupid.
This new confidence has really come from board gaming. I'm not talking about the board games that I used to play when I was a kid, like Scrabble and Monopoly, Risk, and Clue.
So I won't have to spell in front of my friends?
No. I'm talking about modern board games. Games that have evolved.
That could be fun.
Here are a couple things I've learned and wanted to pass on to any other dyslexic gamers out there. Number one, I've learned not to feel guilty for not playing games that I know I can excel at. For example, Scrabble.
Scrabble is a spelling competition.
The second thing that I've learned is that the more upfront I am about being a slower reader, the better it goes for everyone at the game if there is a lot of reading involved in the game. If you tell everybody at the table to begin with, everyone's usually pretty gracious about it. And while it is a little humbling to have to say I'm a slow reader, it really does make the game go smoother if everyone knows why it's taking me so long to make choices. The other thing is to not limit yourself when learning new games. I can't tell you how often I get overwhelmed when I'm learning a new game. If it looks too complex, I will shut myself down and I'll stop listening well, and it just doesn't go well. But I've learned that if I give myself a chance, give my teacher a chance, I usually pick up the game just as well as anybody else learning the game. Board games have really given me a new platform to exercise my abilities as a dyslexic person, not just in a creative, artistic field, but in a thinky, puzzly, competitive field. And that's because a lot of games involve pattern recognition, route and network building, and pattern building and set collection. These are all things that this is how my brain works, and it's really been exciting to play a game and sit down with everyone else and be able to compete in a fun way. So that's my video about dyslexic gaming. I hope that it will be encouraging to the other people out there who are dyslexic, and if you'd like to see more videos about being a dyslexic gamer, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel, Almost a Board Gamer.
Oh, I'm just so stressed out. Welcome to Mental Health Minute. I'll tell you, sometimes the world out there is really stressful. Whether you're at work, you're at home, you're submitting a board game breakfast deadline video, stress can really overwhelm you. And it takes over a lot of your brain. You're thinking about so many small little things that playing a board game may be the last thing you want to do. I'm here to argue otherwise. Now, playing a game with a lot of complex rules, assessments, and details can be making you way more open to analysis paralysis while also experiencing stress. But now, there are also ways to play games that are smaller that still involve strategy that you can enjoy. I, for one, play San Juan, Puerto Rico's little brother. I like San Juan because it's got some detail, some strategy, and just generally works. And especially, it's really good with 2 players. It's quick. You can play as many times as you want in a short period of time, and it really gets the job done. And that's what I like to do when I'm in that kind of stressful mood. If you're in a stressed out mood, what games do you play? Do you avoid games entirely? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story about those games and maybe some gaming experiences when you're stressed out and how you solved them. So, my name is Nick. Thank you again. Do enjoy your breakfast.
Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and I hope you're enjoying your board game breakfast. Today I want to talk to you about a fun roll and write game with a good solo mode, and that would be Fleet the Dice game from Eagle Gryphon Games. In Fleet Dice, you're trying to build up the biggest fishing empire that you possibly can, both by getting fishing licenses and boats out on the water, and by investing in the harbor and the wharf so that you can get bonus points and get a little bit more out of the fish that you catch. However, in the solo mode, you're also going to have to watch out for the evil Captain Ruth, who will not only draft dice away from you, but will block off spaces on your tracking sheets and prevent you from making your fishing empire as big as you would really like it to be. Probably the best thing about Fleet Dice Solo is that you really have to think about which dice you're drafting, not only because you are interested in what you want for your scoring, but also because you want to prevent your opponent from taking something away, and it really keeps the tension that sometimes disappears in a solo game. Fleet Dice is also just a good roll and write. There are a lot of little bonuses and extra actions that you can get that chain off of each other, so that by the end of the game you're taking these massive turns that feel fantastic. The trade-off is that there are a few little tricky rules to remember, but overall the game is really easy to learn and it's a very good time, so I highly recommend Fleet the Dice game. Happy gaming!
Welcome back to 10 for 10.
I'm ready.
Brought to you by Literature.
Sam won last week, right?
Huh?
Sam won last week because I
Sam
couldn't figure out.
did win last
I
week.
couldn't put
You
that
couldn't
one.
figure out one game out and put it in the right place. So
That's
today
right.
we're going to be taking a look at.
Not games.
I was not games. It is not games, but there's a lot of games out there inspired by literature, by books, by novels.
Woo! Books.
So, what we're going to be doing today.
Boy.
You should read more.
I'm going to be revealing 10 cards here.
Street signs.
Each one of them has a publication on it, and you are all going to be drafting 5 of them like we did last time.
Okay.
I'm not picking a starting one. The leftover will be your starting point, okay? And then you will put them back into place according to when they were published.
Are these like okay? Let's see what the books are.
You've got Pillars of the Earth, The Pillars of the Earth. House of Danger, which is Choose Your Own Adventure number 6. Harry Potter, the first one, and the Philosopher's Stone. We've got Steelheart, which is the book that's the first one in the Reckoners. We've got A Game of Thrones, the first one in Song of Ice and Fire. Dune. Dracula. We've got Starship Troopers, Robinson Crusoe, Treasure Island, and The Lord of the Rings, the first one that came out.
Okay.
So, Sam, you won last time. So, I'm going to let Tom draft first. Okay?
I would have allowed him to do that.
I'm taking Dracula.
All right, Sam, what would you like? Don't forget, you guys together are going to decide which one is your starting off point.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I'm not picking one. It's just whichever one's left over, that's your jumping off point. Okay, and there you go. You take it, you put it face down
We
in
gotta
front
put
of
this
you.
in order like last week.
Yeah, just put it
All right.
face down in front
I'll
of
take
you.
Starship Troopers.
There you go. Right on top. Okay.
An amazingly cool book.
Sam, what would you like? A Game of Thrones. Very well. Tom?
Someone said this looks like a prototype.
This is a prototype.
Man, I don't know when. I'll go with Lord of the Rings.
Lord.
Actually, I should have picked a different one, but it is what it is.
All right, Steelheart the Reckoners.
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island. Back to you, Sam.
Do you want Robinson Crusoe or?
All right, very well. So we are starting off, fellas,
Pretty
with
sure you picked
Dune.
all the old games, all the old books.
So Dune, are you going to tell us the date?
I will.
It's 19.
Oh, you want to guess? Oh, hold up now. Somebody wants to show off. What is it?
No, I'm just guessing because I don't know.
1969.
Okay? 73.
He's closer. It's 65.
Woo!
Dune.
Absolute guess.
That's good. Good stuff. That's going to win you this game. Dune came out in 1965, and we are going to start with who was the last one to draft there?
Well, I drafted first, so he should play first, right?
All right, let's go with that. So you cannot arrange them again.
5. I can't shuffle them?
Nope. You got to do them in the order that you took them.
Pillars of the Earth.
The Pillars of the Earth. If it's newer, it'll go above. If it's older, it will go below. Okay, that is correct. And Pillars of the Earth was published in 1989.
Newer's that direction.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, no way, Sam. I thought it was the opposite.
No, he just said. Newer
Got
is
it.
this
Okay,
way,
I wasn't
older
paying
is that
attention.
way.
Robinson Crusoe. Oh, this is a hard one.
Oh,
I'll put it here.
very well. Robinson Crusoe came out in 1719.
How many movies has been made about Robinson Crusoe?
19?
Yes.
Wow. So that should be like behind Tom somewhere.
Okay.
All right, so what was
All
this
right.
again? This was 1980 something?
1989, correct.
1989.
All right, what is your next one? Let's see what you got.
House of Danger, Choose Your Own Adventure, 1989. I'm going to say this was before 1989 and
Dune was
After Dune.
65.
65.
House
So
of Danger
it's
feels like an 80s book.
Somewhere in there, yeah. I'm saying early 80s, though.
That is correct. That came out in 1982.
Yeah.
Woo!
That-
All right. Treasure Island. Oh, that was Robert Louis Stevenson, who lived in the 1800s, so it has to go there.
That is correct. Treasure Island came out in 1883.
Dropping the knowledge. You're just showing off.
No, okay, now this is not like uncommon. You didn't know Robert Louis Stevenson wrote Treasure Island?
Yes, I knew that.
Okay, so it's not like
that cat. He's my friend.
I was like, man. Oh, and his contemporaries, well, this and that, and this other person.
Included such luminaries.
Oh, I'm sorry, I listened in school.
Anyway, Steelheart, The Reckoners. I'm thinking that this is a rather new-ish, so I'm going to put this over here, behind 1989.
And that is correct. Steelheart was published in 2013.
Yeah.
I want to point out that 2013, it's 2019, and he wrote all 3 of those books. More authors should be like him.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is coming up soon.
Yeah, I know. Lord of the Rings. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is between Treasure Island and Dune. Tolkien wrote this in the 50s, I think. Sounds right.
Is that where you put it?
Yeah.
Very well. That came out in 1954. Between 54 and 55, all 3 volumes
And
came
changed fantasy forever.
When was this?
2013.
What's your new one?
Game of Thrones. So we're going to do this.
Wait, when was Pillars of the Earth?
1989.
89, right.
Ooh, when did Game of Thrones come out? I don't know.
That's when I'm putting it.
That is correct. 1996 is when
Okay.
Game of Thrones, the first one,
I read it
was
when
published.
I read it when we were in Korea.
True.
you
So it
go.
came out when we were in college. Yeah, that seems legit.
1996.
No mistakes.
No
I'm getting
mistakes
super
so far,
nervous.
fellas. I am in the company of cultured luminaries.
Starship Troopers. That was written by Robert Heinlein, and I'm pretty sure it was in the 60s, so I'll put it there.
That is correct, but it was not in the 60s. It came out in 59. But close enough. We're looking at
All right.
1954,
Woo!
1959,
Okay, I was a little close for comfort there, actually.
65.
Okay.
You've got 1 card left.
Sam
So do
could
you,
win.
Sam. If you don't make a mistake here, you will take home
Right.
the Christmas turkey.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. When was Game of Thrones?
96.
96.
Whoa. Were you in college when Harry Potter came out?
Yes, I was.
You were working in Barnes and
I was
Nobles
working
and-
at Barnes and Noble.
Oh,
He was working-
wait, we got to go to the judges. Advantage, judges?
Wait.
It's okay? All right, we'll
So what
let it
year
go.
were you working at Barnes and Nobles? It was 99 and 98, I think?
You were working at Barnes and Noble, by the way.
They're about.
Not Barnes and Nobles.
So
Barnes and Nobles, apostrophe S. They own the store.
no, it is Barnes and Noble.
I don't care.
No S.
That's a...
There.
When do you think it came out? This is 96. That's 2013.
Right. I was working at Barnes and Noble. I was married in 97, and I began working at Barnes and Noble, I believe, in 98. And I want to say between 98 and 99 is when the first Harry Potter book came out. So I'm pretty sure that's correct.
You're close enough. It came out in 1997, actually.
Okay.
So 1 year after A Game of Thrones. Sam is going to be our winner, but I'm going to give you a chance to put that out just for...
Dracula? All right.
Because I want to see your knowledge of the olden days.
Oh, what year was Crusoe?
1719.
Yeah, I came between that and Treasure Island, I think.
You're wrong.
So it's before Robinson Crusoe?
No, it's definitely newer, but it's a little bit after Treasure Island.
Wow.
This came out in 1883. This came out in 1897.
Mary Shelley. No, it's not Mary Shelley. She's Frankenstein.
Correct.
Ah. Okay.
So there you go. Sam, well done. Congratulations. Barnes to the
My
Noble
complete
to
strategy
the rescue
was
again.
pick the newer ones that I knew came later.
Well, here's the thing, right? The newer ones were closer together,
Yeah.
but they were newer.
Yeah.
Whereas the older ones had bigger age times between, bigger
Were
gaps
the newer ones
between them.
newer? Are you sure?
Well, they're more fresh in your mind, is what I meant to say, right?
Sure.
These old ones, you'd have to know more or less, but the gaps were more forgiving.
I can't believe I messed up in Dracula. That
So,
was my first draft,
there you
too.
go. This sickens me. I'm gonna buy you a copy, an ebook.
An ebook.
You can get that for free these days.
I know.
All right, let's see some more contributors.
Hi everyone, Anna and here, and in this segment we are going to discuss games that are perfect to play with people that don't often play games, like Nora. Today we are going to discuss Spirits of the Forest, a cute little card game in which you gather forest spirits by Michael Schacht with artwork from Nathalie Dambois by Thunder Griff Games.
In Spirits of the Forest, players collect tiles from either end of the two forest ends. You can always take one tile, but if there are two of the same, you may take both. After claiming a tile, you may place a gem on any tile, making it harder for other players to claim that tile. At the end of the game, players are going to compare the number of spirit symbols they have, and the player with the most wins the points for that certain spirit animal. But beware, players can also collect secret tokens, which are going to give them an advantage during scoring.
Did you have fun playing Spirits of the Forest?
Yes, I really enjoyed playing the game. The rules are easy to understand and it's a lot of fun gathering the forest spirits, and it's easy to see who's taking the lead. And when you know who's taking the lead, you can block them with your diamonds.
And that's exactly what's fun about the game, because those diamonds add that extra strategic layer that I really want to see in games, and that just because it has very simple rules. Everyone can play along. I'm going to get my fun out of it, and Nora is also going to get her fun out of the game.
And you forget, it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's a really
the artwork is beautiful.
Game. Yeah, they really knocked it out of the park with the artwork.
I would definitely play this with my girlfriends.
So I am curious to know: have you played Spirit of the Forest? Did you like it? Tell us in the comments below, and hope to see you next, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
This is Roy Candy, and this is 5, where I talk about my top 5 things in a game. This week we're talking all about Twilight Imperium 4, and we're talking about the different races inside the game. So here's my top 5. So Hakan is my number 5. They get to trade all sorts of stuff, and it's awesome to play the game with money, and it's always awesome to make those deals, try to work with the other players for those trade goods. My number 4 is Ekcha. I like the defense abilities of them, and then also being able to manipulate the diplomacy and the agendas and things like that. It's always lots of fun, and who doesn't love turtle people? Then my number 3 is the Embers of Muat. They start with War Suns. How is that not amazing? It feels like you're playing the game on easy mode as far as like combat goes when you start the game with a War Sun. And then my number 2 is the Arborak. These are the tree people in the game. It's really cool because they can produce units like all over the place on all their different planets. It's hard for them to produce a lot of stuff, but they get to spread like weeds. And then my number 1 is the Jonar. Basically because technology in this game is super awesome, and you can upgrade your stuff in all sorts of different ways, and Jonar get technology for free all the time. So that's my top 5, so I'll see you next time on 5.
Undecided on what game to play? Today I'll share you another nifty website to help you with choosing which of your collections to play. Board game menu coming up. Hi, it's Stella from Imperial University. On our channel we do a lot of overview, how to play, playthrough, review and vlog, just like this one. What is board game menu? Well, often this is what I'm like when deciding to play board games. Hey Taryn, let's play board game.
Hey, good idea. What should we play?
How about Growers and Trail?
Sounds good.
Oh, actually, I like Scoville as well.
Well, that plays well also.
How about Hand of Fate or Deals? One of our friends, the board game detective, just told us to board game menu. This website gives you a random suggestion of what to play in a very cool way. You select a menu option, then add your Board Game Geek username. You can customize your search with number of players and the youngest player age and hit generate your menu. Then voila! It'll give you some board game suggestions in a menu. You can print this if you like. Give it a go. There are a few options you can do there as well. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my segment, please consider checking us out on YouTube. See you next week.
Crack it open! Crack it open! No! No!
All right, let's open it. Let's not look at the company. I already know what the company is, but
Oh, that's cheatery.
well, we want me to like when I get the box in my house, like not look at
No,
it.
you're supposed to feel it.
It could be from Amazon, and you like open a pair of new underwear. That'd be weird.
You buy your underwear from Amazon?
No, I don't actually.
Hey, weird. What do we got? Oh, I see bubble wrap.
And I see hair
I
already
see
in the
one
box.
strand of actually a lot of hair. Okay.
All right, that's not from my family.
DNA.
Man, that's some serious good.
Somebody-
That's good DNA
Somebody
scatter,
save
y'all.
that.
That's good. We can clone somebody. What do we got? I'm excited. Ooh, Tom, baby! Oh, hair and everything. I'll take.
Corn.
This is I'm very excited about.
All right, enough of that.
Ooh.
Ah,
That's
this
smaller
is-
than I thought. Did you realize the box was that small?
I did, because I looked it up. I'm excited about this. I knew it was going to be in the size of the, like the Ticket to Ride fast one, the little one. What's
York.
that called? New York. Because the game
big.
is a roll and write now. This is a game based on SIPHON.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
This is a game based on. Are we opening the whole thing? I forget. Did we do that last time?
Yeah. It's going to be reviewed by Z next week.
Probably. The game,
I would like to
like
play
I
it.
said, based on SIPHON, but it's now a roll and write. SIPHON was kind of a roll and write anyway, but before that was a thing.
It's been so long since I played it.
And now they've changed it up a little bit.
Man.
I was very excited by
Why
it.
do you get all the rules that have like nothing?
I'd like to judge these dice, please, since
Yeah,
I'm
go
a
ahead.
dice judger.
Go for it. I think it looks very good, but yes, I knew that it was going to be a small box because there's no way
Days
they
of
were
Wonder
going
does
to
the
put this in.
best sheets, though. Full
They
color.
do. They always have.
Wow, that's really nice.
They make you feel bad for using them, actually.
I love how
That's true.
I love how we're touching all the components and we're not letting him do it.
No, it's
Hey,
okay.
it's my
You're good.
unboxing.
You're
My
good.
picture was... All right, so these, I like these. These pips are like diamonds on a...
Yeah, these feel good. They're plastic and they're engraved.
They're okay. They look good. I'm not as impressed with the quality of the die itself.
You don't like the way they feel in your hand.
They're okay.
Oh, I'm content with those. You're right about these sheets, though. They always do look so good. Like, I remember back in the day when we played
I'll give you a piece of key lime for every 6 I roll.
2 pieces.
All right.
That I get to eat 2 pieces of key lime pie, you said?
You did yesterday.
I ate 1 piece.
Did you?
Yeah, let me see how many pieces I'm going to eat today.
I may or may not have had two.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That looks good.
All right.
That looks very, very simple, though.
It does. I've seen already a little video of how to play on their website. A little rules explanation. I'm very excited about it. I think this was a good reprint of an original game, modernized, sort of simplified and streamlined for now. So I am excited to see what's been done to it and how it feels.
That's
Cool.
our unboxing. Is there anything else?
No, I'm
Is there more?
excited.
Is there more contributors?
Yeah, there are, absolutely. We got one more chunk of contributors for you to enjoy.
Hey everyone, my name's Chris. This is the Teacher's Lounge. Ignore the Velociraptor. I'm here to talk about board game teaching recommendations. I've been playing this one quite a bit recently. It's called Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. It's both a mouthful, a silly long name, but also a very good game that blends elements of Between Two Cities and Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Very good, highly recommend it. But as I've been playing this and introducing it to lots of groups of people, because I think it makes for a decent gateway kind of weight plus game, is that I know that when I started teaching, I struggled finishing concepts, finishing out an entire concept before moving on to the next thing, or before moving on to exceptions to that rule or that general idea. And so that's a recommendation that I'm sharing with you today, is that when teaching, for example, this like a drafting game, you get 9 tiles in hand and you pick 2 of them and you pass the rest along. You reveal the 2 tiles and you work with your neighbors to build up the castles that's sitting between you and the player on your right and between you and the player on your left. You're literally between castles in this game. And so I like teaching that general concept. This is what a draft is. Then you hand that stack of 7 tiles that you didn't use and everyone passes them to the left at the same time, and then you draft again and you build up the castle. Pass them, build it up, you just do that process over and over again. what I struggled with when I started teaching games is, in a way, you think linearly, right, rather than concept-based. Thinking linearly, you grab these tiles. Now what do? Well, you place them. Oh, but there's placement rules you got to be aware of. And if you place 3 buildings or 3 rooms of the same type in a single castle, then you get to trigger a bonus. Let me tell you what the bonuses are. And that's thinking linearly rather than conceptually, rather than concept-based. And people tend to learn, I think, better by rounding out an entire concept before moving on to the next one. Certainly before teaching exceptions and bonuses and that type of stuff. So I like to focus and make sure that when I'm teaching on a game, that I focus on, hey, did I teach a general idea good enough that people aren't confused, that they're not going to have to juggle multiple balls in the air as I start teaching the next idea? And if I do that, I find that people tend to do better in the game and have fewer questions as they're going throughout. So that's my teaching recommendation for today. Focus on concepts before moving on to the next one. My name is Chris. If you have any ideas or recommendations, then comment below. I'll be responding under the name Meeple Overboard, a podcast that my wife and I do together. Proud members of the Dice Tower Network. Anyway, if you want to hear more of my voice, go check out the podcast. If you want to hear more of my face, go check out our YouTube channel. Hear it. I'll see you later.
Hey folks, this is Jonathan for Harsh Opinion, and today I'm going to go back to my root and explain what I think doesn't work inside Dice Hospital. And just saying everything in that video, it's my own opinion, so it might differ from yours. So let's go see it, and I'm going to come back later on to explain myself. So this is a setup for a 3-player game, and the problem is the way the game works. Because you're going to draw those dice from a bag, so you don't know which color is going to be and what number is going to be, and then you're going to arrange the number from the lowest to the highest one, and you re-roll any 6s and any 1s. And then in player order, you're going to draft 1 ambulance with all of the dice inside, and then in ambulance order, you're going to take a tile right here. So if you take a highest value ambulance, let's say the 4th one there with the higher value dice, you're going to be the last one to take one of the cards or tiles there. But that's great because those dice are the easiest to cure, because you have to move them from a 6, then cure them one more time, and they're cured and you're gonna gain points. Those tiles are really effective. They're very efficient. They're better than your regular tiles that you're spreading on your board. But the problem is you don't know next time you're gonna have at least 3 red die to use that tile. So because of that, it's always better to take the ambulance with the highest value instead of the lowest one, because this is going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort to try to manipulate those dice to reach 7 instead of those ones. So it's always better to go with the highest value ambulance, at least in my own opinion and in my own gaming group. So in my gaming group, at least, the problem is first player is going to, and first rounds, first player is going to take the ambulance with the highest values dice and is going to pick the tile or the specialist last. But they're going to have a choice in between 2 things. And the second round is going to be the same thing, but with the new first player. The only reason that's not going to be like that, it's in the rare case where you have tiles and specials that really match, really match one specific ambulance, and that ambulance, it's not the highest value one. This is the only time I found in my gaming group, at least, that's the case of not taking the ambulance with the highest values dice. That's it. So this is why I think this game doesn't work, at least for my gaming group. So thank you for watching. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Doug III from Doug and Doug Gaming, and you're watching A Fellowship of Meeples. Today, I'm going to continue our discussion about games that have a high player count. And games like this are really great because they give the entire gaming group an opportunity to play one game together. One of my favorite high player count games is Red Dragon Inn by Slugfest Games. While the original rules state that it's up to 4 players, due to the release of new characters, we've successfully played ourselves up to 8 players or more and had a great time doing it. The Red Dragon Inn is where adventurers go after a hard day of dungeon crawling to relax with a drink, do a little bit of gambling, and sometimes let off a little steam. Each player chooses a character, and that character has a unique deck of cards, along with a player mat. A couple markers and some gold coins go along with that, but each of the characters have their own unique abilities, which really keeps things interesting in the whole game. During your turn, you'll play cards that may get your character a drink or two. You'll also buy drinks for other characters and occasionally start a round of gambling where you may lose or gain gold coins. Unfortunately though, if you lose all your gold coins, then you are out of the game. Other cards can sometimes affect what another player is trying to accomplish and turn the tables on them. Your player mat keeps track of your alcohol level and your fortitude. If the two ever meet, you are out of the game. Cheating, lying, and scheming are all encouraged within the boundaries of the game, and the last player standing is the winner. The wide variety of new characters and expansions that are constantly coming out make sure the game is always staying fresh and enjoyable, and really gives it a party game feel. Next week on A Fellowship of Meeples, we will be continuing our discussion about high player count games. For now, I'm Doug III. Enjoy the rest of your breakfast.
Hello, we're Board Game Opinions. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Steve. I'm Nathan.
I'm Amy.
And this is our speed quiz, where contestants attempt to guess as many answers as they can from a particular category. And this week's category is short games. So these are games that have a maximum playtime of 15 minutes, according to Board Game Geek. I'm looking for any game in the top 1,000 ranked games on Board Game Geek. And I can tell you there are 32 possibilities that fit that criteria. You're going to get 1 point if I've played the game before. If I've not played it, then they're going to get 2 points. Okay? Alright, we're going to start with Amy. Off you go.
Cobra Paw?
Again?
Cobra Paw.
No.
Double.
No.
Coup.
Yes.
Timeline?
Yes.
Quicks.
Yes.
Love Letter.
Yes, that's definitely in there.
Ganshon Clever?
No.
Love Letter Batman.
No.
Oh, I keep Checkers.
No.
Drafts. Yeah.
Bananagrams?
No.
Set.
No.
Coyote.
No.
Pass.
Cockroach Poker.
No.
Definitely not in the top 1,000. You think party games,
Anomia.
No. It's not high enough, I think.
Quirkle.
No, I will open it to floor, so anyone.
Gobbit.
No.
Ooh, good get.
That was a good one.
There's not much time left now.
I had more when I was
Story
The
Cubes.
Mind.
The Mind is one.
Oh, Story
The
Cubes.
game. Not Story Cubes. The game is not one.
Citadels?
Not high enough.
Oh.
No, too long.
Oh.
King Domino.
That's time, I'm afraid. King Domino is definitely not in there. Right, give me a second to top the scores and we'll see how they did. Alright, so the scores are Steve got 2, Nathan got 2, and Amy got 1.
Oh.
Because they'd all named ones that I played before. Now, they didn't do very well there. Hopefully you did better at home. Here's a few other ones they could have picked. Codenames and Codename Pictures. Dead Man's Draw, Hanaman Koji, Happy Salmon, Clask, Lupin Louie, Magic Maze, Mr. Deck Pocket, One Night Ultimate Werewolf and the Daybreak version, Nyrim, Rhino Hero, Spyfall, Sushi Go, you got The Mind in you, Tsuro, 2 Rooms and a Boom, and Werewords. So yeah, lots of possibilities there. Hopefully you did better than that. So we're going to draw in this case, so Steve and Nathan both get half a point this week. Alright, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Bye. Hey! Welcome to the day. Oh wait, we're at the end.
Yes.
We are at the end.
By now you should have finished most of your breakfast. You can.
If it takes you an hour to eat breakfast, that's a long breakfast.
Hey man, a luxurious, slow-paced breakfast. Enjoy it on your own timetable.
That got super creepy breakfast
What do
time
you
there.
mean? No, I mean like you're enjoying breakfast slowly. It's good for your digestion. You can enjoy the show while you're eating. You know, it's good. It's good for you.
That's true. Sure.
Okay, so come back at breakfast 1 or 2.
I don't know.
Come back at
pretty sure it's 1.
At 1 or 2. I don't know. Check out the live feed for our top 10 games that keep getting better. It's all positive. We won't even say negative stuff about each other's games.
I don't know about that.
I solemnly swear.
Yeah, that's probably a lie. but we will see you then.
Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.